Hi Year 9, for this week's lesson we will be looking at Access FM. So can you turn to this page in your booklet and write down the learning objective for this week's homework. That is, I will learn how to use Access FM so that I can write detailed specifications that will inform my design decisions. Pause the video here and write down the learning objective. Fantastic. So we are going to fill up this table. So we're going to start off by filling up the first and second columns, and then you are going to create your own targets for your project this term. So the first letter A stands for aesthetics. A bit of an odd spelling here. It's AESTHETICS. Make sure you take notes of each of these headings and descriptors. And for DT, in terms of project work, aesthetic means what something looks like. It can be the color, it can be the shape, it can be the whether it's inspired by a design movement, by a specific artist or designer. The first of our C's is cost, and this is talking about the price of the final product. Once you've completed it, how much would you sell it for if you were to sell it? The second C is customer. So customer is who you are designing the product for. Who is the person who would potentially buy it if it were to be sold? E is for environment. So does it have any impact on the environment? Are you using recyclable materials? Are you using materials that can be reused after the product's end of life? The first S is size. So simply put, how big will the final product be? Are there any limitations you want to put on the size? Should it be over a certain height? Should it be under a certain width? The second S is safety. So are there any safety issues to consider with your project? So if we think about our clock, it needs to be it's a clock, freestanding clock that should be able to stand upright on a flat surface. So you need to make sure that your clock is stable on any flat surface. That could be one of your safety issues. F stands for function, which means what is the function of the final product? What should the product be able to do when it's complete? And finally, M stands for materials. And there's what we talk about in Access FM is the types of materials we want to use when we create our project. So pause the video here, make sure you've got all of those sections written down in your table before pressing play. Fantastic. So we have got this table in front of us. We've got ACCESSFM, Access FM on the left. So we know what the headings all stand for. We know what the headings mean in terms of our project. Now we need to learn how we use Access FM to create a list of specifications. So this is basically a list of individual targets that we want our final product, our clock, to meet. So I'm going to give you two of them, function and materials, and you're going to fill in the rest. So for function, what is the final use of the product? You are making a clock, therefore your target should be, my clock will be able to tell the time effectively. Once you've finished the project, we are going to evaluate our work, so we're going to analyze and critique it against these targets here. If by the end of the project you've created a clock but it's not very easy to tell the time with it, then you haven't really met your function target. So write down that target now. And the second one, materials, I'm going to give you what materials we're going to use because I'm providing them. So I will be using pine for the clock frame and acrylic for the clock face. Acrylic is a type of plastic. and pine is a type of wood. It's a timber. So pause the video here and write that down. Okay, so you need to fill in the rest of this table. So you've still got targets for aesthetics, cost, customer, environment, size, and safety to create. So you only need one target per specification point. So you need one target for aesthetics. What do you want your clock to look like? What colors do you want to use? What shape do you want the clock face to be? Cost, how much do you think your product should be worth when it's finished? How much would you sell it for? The one which I think you might get stuck on is the environment one. So how will you make it environmentally friendly? Are there any environmental impacts you need to think of? For this one, both the materials that we're using are seen as more sustainable choices. Pine is very fast growing, so it can be replaced quickly. So that is more sustainable, better for the environment, and acrylic can be recycled. So those 2 points might help you decide how to word your target for environment. So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes on this one. So spend around 5 to 6 minutes completing these targets. Once you've done them, you can press play on this video again. So just to remind you, you are going to create a list of targets for ACCESS, and then you're going to carry on with the video. So pause the video here and complete that task. Awesome. If you're hearing this, that means you have completed all of your targets for your Access FM specification. That's the first use of Access FM, to create targets for our design work. The second use is we use Access FM to evaluate products, either products that we've made ourselves or products made by other people. So, before you go on to your final independent task, I'm going to talk through how to evaluate a product effectively using Access FM. So, in assessments, you are often given a product and some information about a product, and then it will ask you to evaluate or analyze the product in terms of different Access FM headings. So this product here is a build and play set. It costs $24.99, and the materials used are pine, acrylic, and paint. So we know a little bit about this product from what's written. From looking at it, we can see a little bit more about it. We can see that it is a children's toy where they can build and use children's versions of different tools to create different products, to create different creations. It's got a little box where it holds everything in, so it can be all tidied away, and they can be quite creative when using it. So we know how it can be used. We know what kind of colors and materials have been used. We know the cost. We know who the product's for. It's obviously for children. And that's about all we know about this product. So we need to start looking through the Access FM headings and evaluating it for each of those. So in terms of aesthetics, so A is aesthetics, we need to talk about what the product looks like. So my point for aesthetics could be, this product is aesthetically suitable for children because it used bright colours that will attract their attention and make them want to play with it. That is a good, well-rounded answer, because I've said whether I think the aesthetics, what it looks like, is good or not. So I've said it's suitable for children who use it. That's kind of 1 point, 1 mark. And then the second mark comes from me justifying what I've just said. You always have to back up what you say with a reason. That is because they use bright colours which will attract them and want them to play with it. Or if they see it on the shelf, it'll want their parents to buy it for them. So I've said whether I think it's good in terms of aesthetics or bad, and I've said a reason why. The next one I've looked at is cost. So my example here is that I've said, at first I thought the product was quite expensive for a children's toy, which £25 can be quite expensive for a young children's toy. But after further inspection, the toy can be used to create lots of different constructions. This means that the money you spend, for the money you spend, the child can use it for extended amounts of time without getting bored. So I've said that I think it's quite expensive, but you get you get a lot for your money, because the child can use this for an extended amount of time and create lots of different things without getting bored, rather than buying an expensive teddy bear where they wouldn't be able to do a huge amount with it. So I've said, argued both sides, whether saying it's good and bad, because it is quite a high price, but you get a lot for your money. My next point, I'm talking about size. So I don't know the actual size, but I can see from the picture that it's quite small, and it's probably for younger children. So I've put that the build and play set looks to be a suitable size for children aged between 3 and 6. However, children aged over 6 might find this toy too small compared to other products that are on the market. So I've kind of said who this is suitable for in terms of size, from what I can glean from the photo, and what ages it probably won't be suitable for. And then finally, safety is a big one when it comes to children's toys. So I've put down, I think that it is safe for children because the edges have been sanded so that they are not sharp. The surfaces are also smooth, so you cannot get splinters from it. So I've said 2 reasons why it's safe for children, but I've also put a counter argument to say to talk about a potential issue in terms of safety. So that is, I think there are some safety issues with this product when used by children, because there are lots of small parts that can be choking hazards. So in safety, I've spoken about the good parts and the bad parts. So when it comes to evaluating products with Access FM, you need to either argue both sides of the story, say what makes it good in terms of a specification point and what makes it bad, or you're going to say it's all good and you have to justify it, or you say it's all bad and you justify it in terms of one of those headings. So on your next page, you have got this page. This is an independent task, and you will need to use the rest of your homework time to complete this task. So you need to create an Access FM analysis of this product. It's made by a company called Alessi, and it is a citrus juicer. It's made out of stainless steel, and it costs £47. So you can do some research into this product if you want to, or you can just do your Access FM evaluation just from looking at the information and the image. You will need to have at least 1 point for each heading of Access FM, ACCESSFM. I've started the first one for you, so you have an arrow coming off saying aesthetics and an arrow off aesthetics with your comment of whether you think it's good or bad in terms of aesthetics. So once you've completed this, can you take a photo of both pages and upload it to Show My Homework so I can see that you have completed your homework for this week? If you have any questions, please email me on my school email, and I will see you next lesson. Goodbye.